Good afternoon. Today is Tuesday, July 18th, 2023, and this is the hearing for the City of Tempe hearing officer. My name's Vanessa McDonald, and I am the hearing officer, so I'll be conducting this afternoon's meeting. I'm going to read something into the record, and then we'll go ahead and jump into our agenda this afternoon. The City of Tempe hearing officer is authorized by Arizona Revised Statutes and the City of Tempe Zoning and Development Code. The hearing officer has the duty to carry out the provisions and the intent of the Zoning and Development Code and Tempe City Code. The hearing officer is granted the authority to conduct public hearings to decide upon the abatement of code violations occurring on properties within the city. These violations include, among other things, deteriorated structures or landscaping and storage of junk or refuse. Abatement actions are brought before the hearing officer by the city's Code Compliance Division, typically after numerous attempts at contacting the property owner to obtain voluntary compliance. The hearing officer may issue an order directing the owner, occupant, rental agent, property manager, or other responsible person to remediate a code violation or authorize the city to abate the property. The cost of the abatement is the responsibility of the owner of the property where the violation occurred and will be collected as an assessment against the property in violation of the code. On today's agenda, we have 4 items. We have a set of minutes from July 5th, 2023, and we have 3 property abatements. I'd like to make note that agenda item number 4 has been brought into compliance with the code, so it's no longer on our agenda this afternoon. Any property owner who is aggrieved by a decision of the hearing officer may file an appeal within 14 calendar days after the hearing officer has made a decision. The deadline for appealing any decision rendered today is 3 p.m. on August 1st, 2023. Appeals are heard by the Board of Adjustment, after which they may also be appealed to Superior Court. A property owner has 14 days to either file an appeal or bring the property into code compliance within this 14-day window. If neither of these things happen within the required time frame, the property will be abated by the city. Joining me this afternoon to my left are Cassidy Hernandez and Drew Yoakum. Thank you guys for setting things up and being here this afternoon. As I mentioned, one of the items, the first item on our agenda is the consideration of meeting minutes from July 5th, 2023. I had a chance to review those minutes in the packet that was given to me by Cassidy, and I believe they accurately reflect what took place at that hearing. So I'm going to approve the minutes from July 5th, 2023. Agenda item number 2 is a request to abate public nuisance items at the Janata property. This property is located at 6606 South Mitchell Drive. The applicant is the City of Tempe Code Compliance, represented this afternoon by Inspector Julie Schofield.
Good afternoon, Madam Hearing Officer. I am here today to ask for a 180-day open abatement for the property located at 6606 South Mitchell Drive here in Tempe. The violations at this property are deteriorated landscaping in the front and backyard, junk and debris in the back side yard, and also an unregistered vehicle parked in the driveway. This case has been open since March 1st of 2023. The owner has received multiple notices regarding all the violations at this property, and they've also been issued a citation which they failed to appear on back at the end of April. Today I do have current pictures of the property I would like to share with you to show the property still in violation. These were taken earlier this morning.
Okay, thank you.
So this is the front of the property, and this also shows the unregistered vehicle parked in the driveway, as well as grass and weeds growing in the gravel landscaping on the north side of the property. This is just a close-up shot of the license plate showing that it was expired as of February of 20. It was ran through DMV, and it is still unregistered.
Okay. So it's been 3 years now,
Yes.
not like a couple months.
Correct. There's no temp tags or any of the sort. This is more pictures of the landscaping in the south side of the front yard. Grass and weeds growing through the north side of the yard. And as you can see, coming out of the top here, there's overheight weeds going up over the gate. This shows a picture going south into the main portion of the front yard of the landscaping. This is a picture of the weeds growing through the south side. And then this is a picture of the north side in the backyard showing the items stored back here, as well as overheight grass and weeds in the backyard. And due to a lack of an alley, I was not able to get more pictures of the
Okay.
backyard.
Okay, but the abatement you're requesting does include the backyard,
That would be
correct?
correct.
Okay.
Front and backyard. Again, if approved, a 180-day open abatement for the landscaping, junk trash and debris, and an unregistered vehicle.
Okay. Thank you. Mr. Yocum, is there anyone on the line wanting to speak on this agenda item?
No, Madam Hearing Officer.
Okay, thank you. I'll make a note for the record. There's no one here in the chamber other than City of Tempe staff. So there's no one here wanting to speak on this agenda item. Well, Inspector Schofield, I agree with your assessment. The pictures speak for themselves. It definitely is in need of remediation, and your attempts at contacting the property owner have, just not resulted in any communication whatsoever. So I'm going to go ahead and approve the application contained in CE 221246.
Thank you very much.
That brings us to agenda item number 3. This is a request for approval to abate public nuisance items at the Miles property located at 702 East Taylor Street. The applicant is the City of Tempe, represented this afternoon by Inspector Andres Lara Reyes. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Madam Hearing Officer. My name is Andres Lara Reyes. I'm Code Compliance Inspector with the City of Tempe Code Compliance Division. And I'm here this evening to request an open abatement, 180-day open abatement for the property at 702 East Taylor Street in Tempe. This case was initiated by a public complaint back in December 19, 2022. That's for dead palm fronds in one palm tree in the front yard. I had communication with the owner's daughter at the property. I explained the violations that needed to be corrected. Also, at least 2 notices to comply have been posted and mailed to the property owners. I've issued 2 citations to the owner, Mr. Chris Miles, but it's my understanding through his daughter that he is deceased. But I did explain to the daughter that Louis Miles, the wife, is responsible for the violations. She's also on the deed.
Okay.
Also, the fines that were issued had not been paid or any civil hearings have been scheduled. I did post Care 7 and landscape brochures to the property several times. There has been no contact with the property owner as of this morning. This is also a picture of this morning here for the palm fronds. Everything else was corrected.
Okay. So then the amount requested in the abatement will go down considerably.
It
since
should go
it's-
down,
Okay,
yes.
Since it's just the palm fronds.
Right.
Okay, great. Well, thank you so much. Mr. Yocum, anyone wanting to speak on this item?
No, Madam Hearing Officer.
Okay, again, I'll make note, there's no one here other than staff, so no one's here to talk about this agenda item. Well, it seems pretty cut and dry that palm tree definitely needs to be trimmed back so that it meets the code, but I'm happy to see that all the other violations were brought into compliance. That said, I do think I should give you the 180-day open abatement just so you can help the property owner stay on top of the property, given the fact that the owner's deceased and there's perhaps an heir or their daughter, who is trying to maintain the property. So I'm going to go ahead and approve the request contained in CE 227562. Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Hearing Officer.
As I mentioned previously, agenda item number 4 has been brought into compliance with the Tempe City Code. So that takes us to agenda item number 5. This is a request for approval to abate public nuisance items at the McCooey property. This property is located at 1430 East Palmdale Drive. The applicant is the City of Tempe Code Compliance, represented this afternoon by Code Inspector Andrew Gongora. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Madam Hearing Officer. My name is Andrew Gongora, and I'm a Code Compliance Inspector with the City of Tempe Code Compliance Division. I'm here this evening to request a 180-day abatement for the property at 1430 East Palmdale Drive, Tempe, Arizona. The case was initiated on April 13th, 2023 for having grass and weeds in the front gravel landscape. Correction notice was sent out, as well as a final notice to the property owners, which were unresponsive. Upon final inspection on May 15th, 2023, the property was found to be in violation and there had been no response from the property owner. Citation was issued on May 16th for the grass and weeds violation. An additional violation was also added on June 6th, 2023 for overheight grass and weeds in the backyard, and a correction notice was mailed out to the property owner. Property owner failed to appear for civil arraignments on May 30th, 2023, and also on June 13th, 2023. I would now like to present photos taken today of the existing violations. This here's a photo of the front property, which identifies the home. This morning on the inspection, the front of the property was brought into compliance.
That is much improved over the pictures
Yes.
dated June 16.
And that's the addition of the front side to show that it was in compliance. And also, this is the backyard from the alley view, which has all of the overheight grass and weeds throughout. Oh, I'm sorry, I'm used to this part. And here's just a second photo, which shows the, I believe it's the west side of the house. It is in violation of the overheight grass and weeds. So, today, as I stated before, I'm seeking to get a 180-day abatement for the property at the 1430 East Palmdale Drive for the overheight grass and weeds violation in the backyard.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I'm happy to see that the front yard at least was resolved by the property owner. And who knows, maybe within the 2-week window between today's action and their appeal window, maybe they'll address the backyard. Is there anyone wanting to speak on this?
No,
item?
Madam Hearing Officer.
Okay, thank you. No one here again wanting to speak on this agenda item. So like I said, I'm happy to see the progress in the front yard, and maybe they can get it done in the next couple of weeks. But nevertheless, I agree with your assessment. It needs to be abated. So I'm going to approve your 180-day open abatement request for the application CE 232224. Thank you.
Thank you.
And welcome. I hadn't seen you before. Good to meet you. That concludes our agenda this afternoon. Mr. Yocum, any announcements?
Yes, just the one. Our next scheduled hearing officer meeting is set for Tuesday, August 1st at 5 p.m. That will be held here in the City Council chambers as well as live on Tempe 11.
Okay, great. Well, thank you for your help this afternoon, and thank you for coming. We're adjourned.